Here, I want to hear the ladies' opinion on what I said earlier, what I always say. Again, so I'm gonna say this again. To women that you've traditionally you're dating down, quote unquote dating down, because y'all use that term. Men don't say that, but to you women that are quote unquote dating down right now, you've dated down in the past, and shoot, to be honest, for some of y'all, that's just probably gonna be your future. Again, no woman willingly dates down. You date down because you have to date down. You don't have a choice to date on your level, or date up. So starting with you, Plush, I want you to tell me what you think, what you think about women that are not able to attract, a man for a serious relationship, that are on their, at the very least, on their level, or on a higher level, like a lot of women prefer. What's to be said about those women, in your opinion? And do you believe women willingly date down? Do you believe that women willingly date men that make not just less money than them, but significantly less money than them? Go ahead, Plush.
To answer your first part, well, I'll answer the main part. I do believe some women um, willingly date down only because I've had some women say that they didn't really care about a man making less money than them, as long as he had X kind of other qualities. I think some other women may just not know better at that time because they still have the Disney love idea in their mind, so they don't really consider um, other things that are necessary to keep that relationship going and to sustain it. And I also believe that I think it's one part that I'm missing. Why are you shaking your head already? What?
Because you just say, thank you, gang. Did you just say something to the tone of,
Thank you.
you've had girlfriends in the past that said they like just didn't care about how much money a man made at all?
Not just like friends of mine. I hear women say this, like women that are already that feel that they're
Okay,
financially
great.
secure and things like that. They say that they don't really consider a man's income as much or what kind of job he has, as long as he treat them good and he rub her feet and all that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
I got you. I got you. Do
Rub
you
her
do you do
feet.
you do you genuinely believe that, or again, do you genuinely believe that, or again, is it a case of, because that's easy. That's an easy way to cop out for the reason that you can't date up. So, do you genuinely believe those women that you've heard say that? Do you genuinely believe that they just don't care at all? And all that matters is how the guy is how the guy treats them, and loving them and respecting them. Because I say this all the time. There are a lot of men that get ignored and don't have access to certain women simply because of, they don't meet the woman's financial status, and the woman a lot of times don't even meet the financial status that she's talking about. But so the barista that makes her drink at Starbucks, the guy that's outside taking her Chick-fil-A order, all the guys that they don't care about, but these guys have the character, they have the integrity, they have the ethics, they have the morals, they have the values. So you're telling
Okay.
me that, do you genuinely believe when women say that, I really don't care about the money, as long as he got all them other things, I'll take care of the money. So I'll be largely responsible for
I
somebody on
believe
top of that.
when women say that they are settling because they don't think that they will get the man that the kind of man that they really desire. And so they kind of will forego some of those other qualities that they want in a man, and they'll settle for a man that's nice to them.
I'm
Subtle.
I'm, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Subtle.
I'm about to plus again, and it's not a matter of them thinking that they can't get. It's a matter of them knowing that they can't get the man that they want. So again, I always say this, as a man or a woman, but we're talking about women right now. As a woman, you cannot say you are not settling when you're not attracting the caliber of man or the caliber of men it is that you want. So, to these women, they're not settling. They're getting what they deserve. They're getting what they qualify for. So it's not a matter of them settling for less. It's a matter of them just accepting what they qualify for. Yes or no?
I mean, I don't know because I don't know what kind of man that they want. Okay, so I'll give I think I understand what you're saying. So if there's a woman that is, overweight or she's not conventionally attractive and she wants to date a man that is conventionally attractive that makes say six figures or something like that, and she makes around six figures, but she will not basically that man won't be attracted to her over someone else that's more attractive in the same arena. I don't get it. Like, I feel like most women can definitely date up. Are you saying if women can be hypergamous? Like, I don't understand if she's not attractive. Women can definitely date up. Women don't have to. Most women don't have to settle. No, most women don't
You
have.
said
I think most
most.
women choose to settle.
Well,
Why
most
would
most women would
why
have to
would a
settle.
man or a woman choose to settle if they can do better? If I have the qualifications
Hmm.
and the experience to get a job paying X amount of dollars, why in the world would I take the job B that's paying significantly less and doesn't require as much experience and doesn't require as much qualifications as job A is if I can really get job A? That doesn't make any sense to do, right?
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but when men and women don't make decisions over relationships like based on the same logic. So what I'm saying may not make sense to you.
Well, I thought logic was ironclad. Like when we said something is
No,
logical.
logic is ironclad, but logic isn't always the same. Like, it's a process of thinking. So we use like different determining factors to make these sort of decisions. So yes, there are some women that if they are at a certain tax bracket, and you see this all the time with celebrities, there are certain women that will date down where somebody else may consider dating down for whatever reasons they feel. Usually it's love. Usually it's something to do with like their emotions, how they feel about a person. If they think he's a good guy and he makes them feel good, like women will do that.
Okay. Yeah. I respectfully disagree, but
I
I'm
mean,
not
we're not
gonna
going to
go
agree
on.
because we don't think the same.
Men and women are different. We have profoundly different. Like our criterion is completely different. So a dude that makes $1 billion, it can walk into Walmart and meet the greeter, and she's so kind and she's beautiful and she's sweet. Man, drop your fucking uniform. Let's go. Fuck out of here. And it's just
Well,
like that.
yeah,
Just like
he
that.
will do
Yeah,
that.
he'll do that shit just like that. And it wouldn't even, he would never think that he's settling or he would never think the word settle would never pop into his mind. I've got someone who's beautiful and kind and sweet and actually wants me, man. And I'm good with that shit. Like, and he would never look back. The rest of the bronze in the world would pale in comparison to this Walmart greeter. Like, that's crazy how different we are, man.
And I'm gonna say this before Bree speaks. Me personally, I don't know too many people that will really have the ability to have something better, no matter what it is in life. They really have the innate, it's realistic for them to have better, but they're gonna choose something less than. I just personally don't know too many people that would
People
operate
do it
like that.
every day, believe it or not. And obviously you don't believe it, but they do it every day.
Okay, that's fine. I appreciate you, Plush. Please go back on mute. I'm gonna give Bree an opportunity to speak. Big Bree, go ahead. What's your thoughts on this?
What's the question?
Shit, what did I ask again? Um, oh, about settling. Um, what did I ask you, Plush? What did I ask, Keith?
But you were talking about, you said that since, like, what is the criterion for women when they determine that they're settling? And and why is it that men and women think so differently, right?
Oh, okay.
About
I remember
whether or
now. I
not we're
remember
settling.
now. What Bree? What do you think about? you know, so again, I'm someone that believes that women that date down, they date down because they have to date down. They don't have a realistic, chance or opportunity to date up. So I want you, so to women that date down, I want you to tell me why it is that you think that they date down. What it is to be, whatever you think is to be said, about those women, and do you really believe that a lot of women really value, the man's character, his personality, his morals, his ethics, and his values? Largely, they have those at the top of the totem pole as opposed to, having the man's financial status and what they project him being able to do for them going forward in the future, at the top of the totem pole. So those are the two things that I want you to address.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about no dating down, but from what I've seen, when women date down, it's usually because they have no choice but to, like, they're in a higher tax bracket, or they have baggage, such as I don't call it baggage, but like kids, previous marriage, stuff like that. That's what I've seen. So they choose to, I guess my definition of settling is different than your definition of settling, but they choose to settle at that point. They choose to be with, a lower class man, or a
But
lower.
Bree, you said they choose to. So like that, if you say choose, that's insinuating that they have options. So if they could really have a quote unquote better option, why would they choose the lesser option if they really had the opportunity to have a better option?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're not qualified for the other option.
All
So
right.
they have no choice.
You said all right. We gotta
I
start
mean,
being
we
Took the
said
honest.
big
the
hit.
same thing, though. We said the same thing.
Did we? Wait, who you and Bree said the same thing?
Yes, we did. I literally said that.
Yeah, because I was pretty much going to agree with what you were saying. Like, our definitions of settling is basically the same thing. But,
I think it
Noble,
was the
real
settling
technical.
that threw him off. Like, I guess I get what you're saying. Like, they don't have a choice. It feels like settling. How's that sound?
Yeah, it feels
Okay,
like settling.
okay, Plush and Bree, let me ask, and Plus, you can answer this first. So, because Bree just used the term baggage, and I know that people don't like to use the term baggage, but so the woman that, she's a divorcee, she does have, two or three kids, whether they were from her previous marriage with the same guy, or whether she got two, three kids, from, two, three different men. Um, when she's back on the dating scene, are men really who's really settling at the end of the day? Like, is the woman the one that's settling, or is it the men, or is it the man that's going to be the one settling for her? What do y'all think? Starting with you, Plush. What do you think? And just answer honestly, just your honest opinion. Who's really going to be settling for who?
I mean, is the man settling for her? Um, if he is dating a woman with children and he doesn't really want to, then I guess he would be. Like, what's wrong with him? Like, why couldn't he find better, or something closer to what he wanted? What's wrong with them?
No.
Because, a lot of men over 40 and stuff that's not married with no children, they feel like they have to settle with the women with children because, they have a hard time finding whatever dream girl it is that they have. So they end up settling. And it's always something wrong with them.
Oh, hold on, man. Hold on. Hold on, man.
Something wrong with them. What's wrong with them?
Yo, man. I meet them.
Why?
I meet that
What's taking you
criteria,
so
man.
long?
I
Why
know.
you ain't got
I
no
actually.
wife? Why you ain't never been married? You sitting here
I
doing
have been.
the first time, first everything in your
I did.
40s and say ain't something ain't
She's
wrong
not
with it.
talking about you,
It's
P.
something wrong.
Oh no, yes he is, because I spoke the fuck up. She talking about my black ass. As you talk about me,
Are
you
you
the
talking
fuck
about
out.
her, Plush?
She talking about my ass. It's all right though. It's all
She's
right. It's cool.
married.
I was 40 years old and got married. No kids, no none of that shit. I ain't had none of that shit when I got married. Own a trucking company, 6'1", 230, all that shit, man. Just found a woman with 2 goddamn kids and still married her. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking about.
I mean, are y'all still together? I hope so. You sound like you don't know what you're thinking. Oh no. Oh no. Are y'all still
Fucking with
together?
you. Yeah, we still together. I'm fucking around. I'm talking shit
Oh
that I would have got
no.
my ass kicked
He's
for.
joking. He's joking.
Yeah, I'm just joking, man. I'd have got my ass
Hey,
kicked for saying
trigger.
that shit, man. Don't
Lottie,
worry about
trigger. Bree, Bree, what's your who's settling who's settling who's the one really doing the settling? Is it the man doing the settling or is it the woman doing the settling?
When I think about settling, I think about like compromising or meeting in the middle. So I feel like the woman is settling, not the man. He came up off of her. If
it.
she married down,
Mm.
so yeah, she's settling.
No, okay. Let me be more. Okay, so let me say this again. So this woman is whether she's a divorcee and she has 2 or 3 kids from her previous marriage, or if she's just like a single woman, never been engaged, never been married before. She may have 2, 3 kids by 2, 3 different men. What I'm saying is, like, in either of those situations, when she's going back into the dating market, when she has that baggage that you referred to, does she even have like does she even really have a right to say that she would be settling for somebody, or would somebody for in most cases would the man be settling for her?
Okay. Yeah. In that case, the man will be settling and she's, getting what she now qualifies for.
And he's
Common,
still lucky because I'm wrong with him.
common noble W.
She
So,
Common noble
oh,
W.
wait a minute.
Go ahead, Keith.
Some of us would like somebody just said that if she's young and she's marrying an old dude who's 40, she's settling. Now that's where you're wrong. You're at your biggest and your strongest and your financial peak, right? So you're going to be at your financial peak. And a lot of dudes, if you take care of yourself, you're going to be better at everything that you were ever good at outside of sports. You're better at everything you've ever done. So you won't be settling for a man who's between 32 and 47. You're not going to be settling for anything. You're going to get the best version of that man has ever been, unless of course you're trying to go on a football field and run track with the motherfucker. Other than that, you got everything. He's built. He can be bigger, stronger, tougher, more compassionate. He's learned more, and he's hit his financial stride. He's got all that shit. So no, you won't be settling with that. That's not a settling factor.
That's
but
fine.
you gotta be careful with his back.
You
You
know,
gotta be
oh
careful.
man, ain't nobody got to worry about my damn back. My back ain't gonna snap. It's my heart you got to worry about. You got to worry about my heart
I'm
giving out. That's what.
Hey,
no, no.
hey, Lati, go. Let me, just in case. So, Lati, I want you to speak on, fuck, why do I keep forgetting? It's 4:21 in the morning. What was my
Shit.
question again? What was my question again? Oh yeah, dating down. I want you to speak on. I want you to speak on. I want you to tell me what you think about women that quote unquote date down. Are they dating down because they really want to date down, or in most cases, are they dating down because they don't meet essentially the qualifications? They don't have the experience for the job that they really want. So it's not even like a realistic chance of them getting that man or getting that job that they want. And then I also want you to speak again on what do you think most women truly value now? Actually, hold on, Bree, you gotta answer that for me too. What do you think most women truly value? Do they? What's at the top of the totem pole? Is it the man's financial status and what they foresee him being able to do for them in the future? Or is it his ethics, his morals, his character, his personality, his values? What do a lot of women really put at the forefront nowadays? So Bree, answer that question for me before Lefty speaks. What do you think?
Depending on their age, at a younger age, like 20s, money. Yeah.
So you think when they get in their 30s that all that other stuff comes to the forefront for the most part?
No, I would say after 40.
Okay. You
Damn,
hear that, Keith? So after
motherfucker,
they
shallow
turn
as
40,
shit till they turn
after
40.
they turn 40, that's when I'll start caring about your cure.
They don't give a fuck about you till they 40.
No 20-year-old is worried about your morals and all that other stuff. They're worried about what you can do for them. If you
I
can
can
put
understand.
money on them books, on that tuition, if you could pay that rent, can you
Yeah,
pay my
you're
car
right.
note?
Trying to
I can
tell you.
understand that. Yeah.
Hold on, before you speak, listen. I'll be trying to tell y'all. Let's see.
Get
Go
that shit
ahead,
on the
man.
head,
Talk
man.
to
She
these people,
killed
man.
that shit.
Talk the real to these people. I already know how you about to come. Talk to
She
these people.
killed that shit.
No, I agree with Brie what she said. A lot of times the main thing is finances, not for all women, of course. That question is hard to answer because not all women operate the same, and even not even majority of women operate a certain way. Like it's you have to look at where they grew up and all the other dynamics that come with it. So there's a large percentage of women who do value money above all else, like Bree said, in their younger years. But some women, they grow up culturally. That you need to find a man who's a father figure. So you look at like ethics and stuff like that. But yeah, society does teach that men are providers. So a man with a job is gonna be a better pick and a better option for a woman than a man without. And then when you get into jobs, there's a hierarchy of jobs, right? So yeah, that one's a hard one to answer, like a blanket statement. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, what about
And
the whole dating down thing?
so the dating down thing, um, I think there's a couple different categories, but we'll talk on two. So there's the first one that you mentioned where they don't have a choice. They date down because they have to. It's the only people available to you, right? And then the other set of women, I think, is people who date down because you want to keep the power dynamic that way, right? When you're in a relationship, like a lot of RNs in America do this, and I don't want to shit on RNs, but I've been seeing a lot of them, like nurses, be taking up Pookie and Ray Ray down the street, and I don't know what's going on. A lot of them is getting like, they making so much money as the woman, and she's housing this man, and I'm like, what is going on? But it's the power dynamic, because that man, you can run him, you can control him, you can tell him what to do, you can check his phone, you can, what I mean, you can be arguing back and forth with him and whatever. But if you're in a relationship with a man who is established, you're not doing all them thing. So even if they've got access to those men, they're not willing to get on that man's program. They're not willing to adapt to, what I mean, whatever it is that he's got going on. So because I
Lati,
still want to
Lati,
be in
Lati, I'm sorry.
control.
I'm sorry. Like, one sec. Jaleesa, stop spamming in my comment section.
What's
You
going on with
spam one more
Jalisa?
time, you're gonna be out of here. Stop spamming in my comment section. I'm sorry, Lati. Go ahead.
So yeah, that's what happens
Oh, Jesus.
with those kind of women. They just want to keep the power. Like that's the same thing we were talking about with Gabby, with Kiki Palmer, Taraji. A lot of these women, when they become really, you know, established at that level, you've worked so hard for your money. You got a lot of money and you worked really hard to get it. You're gonna have a hard time taking talk from a man. You know what I mean? So you have to take down the guy who makes less than you, because the man who makes more than you is not gonna take talk from you. You know, so
No, that's
yeah.
a fact. I don't mean to cut you off real quick, but again, I've spoken on this in the past as well. Look at Nicki Minaj. Who that man can literally do nothing for her. Like you said, some of these women, like when you really got to a certain level, you're just not even gonna entertain the like you when you really a quote unquote boss babe. You're not even gonna entertain the idea of taking like hearing out a man or taking direction from a man. It's just not even gonna be like within your psyche to do.
Right. So just like the other lady, a couple weeks ago, she was the topic, the one about the bus. The reason that woman fumbled a man who was above her in terms of finances was because she can't take talk from a man, but also at the same time she doesn't want to date down. So she's in a catch-22, because she doesn't want to take instruction from a man making more than her, but at the same time she doesn't want to date down. So she's in a tough place. But some women, especially when they have a lot of money, they choose partners they can bully, and then they date them.
Yeah, and I wanted to speak on the whole. 'Cause I had a live stream like maybe a week or so ago, and I was talking about, and I think I sent you the video, Lati, about the girl that was talking about how being hypergamy, and how if she make 100K, she would want her man to at least make 100K. So I was asking the people, I was asking the woman, Lati, I was like, well, if a woman is having a hard time attracting men that are on her level or whatever, what options does she have? So I said, well, she's either, if she's having a hard time, she's either gonna have to be happily single, or I say she's either gonna have to go to the drawing board and do some reconnecting of the dots, like I always say, so she can get different outcomes, and hopefully, by chance, those different outcomes can get her different results. She's gonna have to happily be single, because a lot of these black women are saying that we're decentering from men, and we're gonna live this rich auntie lifestyle and go to brunch with our friends and take vacations and do this, all this, blah blah blah. Or she's gonna have to date down. Those are her only options. If you ask, are those not her only options, Lati? Like, what other options does she have?
But those aren't her only options, because her network has men that make more money than her. So financially, she has access to those men. She just doesn't qualify for them because of her attitude. So it's not that she doesn't have access. She has more access than the girl at Walmart, really. But what puts her out of that reach is that she's not willing to comply.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Understood.
Very well said. Well said.
Nah, what's good, Nah? How you doing? How you doing this morning?
Hey, Mr. Noble, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm back. I'm back on the main page for a little bit. I ain't been on this page for like 3 months, but I just popped out real quick tonight. What are your thoughts, Nye, on what are your thoughts on the reason that women that date down? Why do you think it is that they date down? And what do you think majority of women today are prioritizing in men? Do you think they're prioritizing his financial status and what they foresee him being able to do for them in the future? Do you think they have that at the top of the totem pole, or do you think they, have his character, his personality, his morals, his ethics, his values, and all that other stuff at the top of the totem pole?
Yeah, Mr. Noble, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I do think it's like the financial status and what a man can provide financially is definitely at the top of the total pole. And hello, Mr. Keith, Plush, Curl, and Learning. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone in the room. That's what I think. And I wanted to give you my rendition or my take on dating down. So you know me, Mr. Noble. I've known you for quite some time now. I like to have my roles and everything nice and neat and laid out. So if I have to start doing manly things, then I would be dating down. That is dating down for me. That would be dating down. If I have to start changing oil and cutting grass and stuff like that, that would be dating down. I don't want to do that. And I think women date down because they don't have access to the men they want. That's what I think about it.
Right. So look, I know you are a woman that, you do and have, his character, his personality, all that stuff that has been at the forefront for you. That's what your dad told you to, like prioritize. Why do you think, and again, this is just your personal opinion. You said you think majority of women prioritize his financial status and stuff. Why do you think that's the case for a lot of women today?
It's because media told them to. When I talk about on my channel, when I talk about daddy says this and daddy says that, those were very intentional conversations. And I recently visited my father, and I was like, Daddy, I showed him all these inboxes that I get, and I told him about my platform, and he was like, I don't think parents understand that teaching your children, sons and daughters, about how to navigate through the worlds of romance, mating, dating, relationships, and things like that, those conversations are intentional. And if you don't sit down and have those conversations, then media will raise them when it comes to that. And if you listen to the music, if you watch the television and the movies and everything that's coming out, that's what it is. It's almost like a man has to be literally everything. And it's unfortunate that that's what it is. So the expectation is unrealistic because it comes from fairy tales, and then that is placed on
Yeah,
men.
I hear what you're saying, and I want to say men normally date down. Men normally date down because the men are honest. Normally, storyteller. I'm not understanding what you're saying in the comments. I wanted women normally date down because the men are honest. You're, are you saying the men that are you saying the other men are not honest? I'm not really sure what you're saying. Okay, you about to come up. But I wanted to say something really quick to what Nye just said, and I wanted to hear what Bree has to say because her and I are in the same age demographic. So Nye, when you talk about, I agree with you that and I'm not a parent obviously, but I agree with you when you talk about parents probably having conversations with their children is important. So like, the internet and the media doesn't raise them. But I honestly think that today that a lot of Herbert, please mute your microphone. I honestly think today, Nye, that a lot of even I think there are a good amount of I think there's a good amount of women and black women for that matter that are having, in two parent households and they're having conversations. Their parents are having conversations with them about dating and relationships, but like they got tablets and they got iPhones, now. So like their parent can tell them whatever, but when they're at work, when they're at school, when they're out and about, they're on Black Girl Luxury TikTok. They're on Instagram. So I don't think that there's me personally, I don't think that there's a lack of parents like having conversations. I just think the influences that be are just having more of an impact than the parents are. And I wanted to hear what your thoughts are on that, Bree, and then I'll let you speak, storyteller.
I think our parents can only do so much. We are individual people, so I mean, I talk to my dad. My dad talks to me about the man that I date and has conversations with me. My dad raised 6 girls, one boy, so he has a heavy influence on how I date men, and he's gave me a lot of pointers. So I really think it's really up to the individual person because once you're 18 and you're out of your parents' home, you are responsible for yourself, no longer your parents.
I heard that. So, Miss Storyteller, so two things I want you to address. So, the first thing is, why do you think for women that date down, um, right now, for women that have traditionally had to date down, and probably in their near and later future, they're probably going to have to continue to date down. Why do you think it is that they date down? And then I also want you to, and then the second thing that I want you to speak on is what do you think majority of women are prioritizing in men nowadays? Do you think it's their character, their ethics, their morals, their values, their personality? Or do you think it's his financial status and what they foresee him being able to do for them in the future? So those are the two things that I want you to address.
Hey panel, hey Noble.
Hey,
I just woke up like an hour ago. So okay,
it's fine.
so the first thing I want to say is People who tend to date down. Now, I was in a mental health medical field, right? And I saw a lot of nurses who would be with bums, like complete bums.
It's
And we
crazy
would
that you
laugh.
say that because someone on the panel was literally just talking about that.
Right. So we would be in the break room and we would talk about their boyfriends and things of that nature. And it occurred to me that women like honest men. Because when I would say, why are you with these guys? They would say, because they're not liars. He's a bum. He'll tell you he's a bum. He ain't got shit. He'll tell you, this is who I am. And I was like, wow, right? And so it makes sense if you think about it. Most men manipulate to get the coochie, and the men who don't manipulate and just admit to not having shit are successful. So women don't like liars. It's better to come to a woman with your hand open and be honest about who you are and let her make the decision. So that's just my opinion, because that's what I saw. I'm telling you, these nurses date. Oh my God. But the dudes that they're dating are honest. They know where to find them at. They're not going, yeah.
Damn. Oh shit.
But I thought,
That's very interesting.
but I thought these women don't want to like, build with men and stuff like that. So
I'm just telling you what I noticed and what
yeah,
they
yeah,
would
yeah.
say. They was like, I remember the one girl said, well, when he got out of jail, he came to where she was working before. She had to give him like a some kind of shot. And when he was leaving, he asked her for a number. He was like, I ain't got much. I see you a nurse, you out here getting your grind on, but this is what I can do. And she said that was the first time a dude had been that honest, and she ended up calling him and they was in a relationship. He was just honest.
That's what's up.
Okay. Do you think oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bree. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing.
Do you think a lot of nurses got a power dynamic thing going on right now? And I ask because, my older sister, she is a traveling registered nurse, and nurses getting like, especially traveling nurses, they getting a lot of money out here right now, Miss Storyteller. They getting a lot of money out here right now, especially since the pandemic. So do you think they got like a power dynamic thing going on right now, or is just were you seeing this before the pandemic? Like, what you think the nurses got going on?
So I got in this field in 2014. I don't really see nurses dating across the board. I have seen that a few times. But I don't think it's so much. I think for you might need to hear it like as a power dynamic, but I think for them, it was because the guy was honest. I'm telling you, that's just what I think. I could be wrong though.
So someone asked from your experience, was it older nurses, younger nurses, or both?
It was both.
All of them. It's all the nurses. I don't know what's
Right,
going on in nursing then.
right.
Shit.
And
I'm
let me
about to, hey,
But listen,
mind me
it
a
makes
little.
sense, right? Because what do men say on this app? Y'all, women deal with dudes who don't have nothing. A man can come to you and say he ain't got nothing, and you'll work with him. If you think about that, what are y'all admitting to? A woman don't want a man who lie, and men lie to get coochie, and women are tired of it. Just tell me who you are and let me make a decision. Like I say, I could be wrong, but that's just what I noticed with these nurses.
Uh, well, okay, 1 second. Now I want to address something she said because I want, and then you can ask her a question. Okay, Miss Storyteller, I'm going to respectfully disagree about the whole they just want men, that's honest, and I'm not a woman, so I can't speak as to why they're attracted to certain men, but I've always said this for whatever reason, like in largely black women, um, hear me?
Yeah, we got you back, bro.
Oh,
We
okay.
got you back.
Um, men that, like, when they graduated high school, whether they pursued a trade, whether they pursued higher education, You know, like they have a career, like they got health insurance, like, you know, they actually go get a physical every year. Like they got dental insurance, they get their teeth cleaned 2 times a year. Like, you know, men that got their own car, they have their own place, like they pay their own bills, they're responsible. For whatever reason, these men, like, you know, I never had a woman like tell me that she wants to move me into her apartment, you know, have me, you know, just sit there and, you know, play the game all day, drive her to work, use her car while she goes to work, drive it around the city, put mileage on it, go to the gas station and, you know, get some grab a leaf so I can smoke weed in her apartment, come back, you know, cook me food, and all I gotta do is have sex with her. I've never been afforded that opportunity before. But the men that got like, you know, he got 2 pairs of dingy he got 3 pairs of dingy tank tops and a pair of Levi jeans and a pair of black Air Forces and a pair of Jordans and a string backpack. They go above and beyond for that man. They give that man the world. So I want to know what's going on with that.
This shit needs.
Miss Storyteller, I'm asking you what's going on with that.
Oh, I look, I don't date down, so I can't answer that. I
Shit.
will never date down, and my daughters won't date down. I don't do that. But I can tell you that the beautiful nurses that I talk to will be dealing with scrubs, and when we would talk about them, I would ask them, "Why are you dating him?" And she would say, "Because he was honest." I'm telling you what women have said,
Do
who
you
make way
think
more
What is
money
that?
it?
than I could ever make.
Do you
But if
think
it
that
works
they're
for
What
you,
do
being
it
you,
works for you.
delusional? Maybe,
what do you
or
mean by dating down? What's your
So,
version
so,
of dating down, the storyteller?
um, so nurses, like he just said, make buku bucks. And this wasn't
Yeah.
always so before 2014. I'm not sure what the salary was, but they would be dating dudes who didn't have a job, dating dudes who would be dishwashers, like just the most meager. You're not going anywhere with your life.
Right.
That's dating down.
Wow.
Wait. So,
So a
okay.
dude that's
Oh, go ahead, Keith.
trying to figure this out, man, because I keep getting dating down. It's different for a lot of people, man. So I like everybody's saying that you have to continue to progress, right? So and I don't while I may have done this, I don't think this is a requirement for you to be a person who's successful and worthy of getting what it is that you want out of life, right? I don't think that you have to be constantly like if you're a welder and you like welding, you don't want to be the fucking foreman, right? I like welding. I like being where I'm at. A guy doesn't have to do that in order for him to be somebody who's a prospective good dude that you. I just don't understand that, man. I don't understand that kind of thinking, right? I'm not here to build with you, right? I don't need to build with a woman. I'm powerful by myself. I don't require another person's assistance to build. So when somebody says we gonna build together, I don't need to build shit with you. I don't need you to build. I'm gonna be what I'm gonna be of my own accord, and I think most women are gonna be what they're gonna be of their own accord, and that seems odd to me how people keep saying that. And it's not dudes. Dudes don't say it, but women do. And I think we're gonna build of our own shit of our own accord. We're not gonna build business together. And if everybody built a business, there would be nobody that would ever get anything done.
Wait. So, Miss Storyteller, I just want to. So dating down for you has nothing to do with finances.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, yeah, she's different, right? She's different. It's these other women that's fucking the game all up.
So I said, and what I think dating down is being a nurse, and you're dating somebody who's a dishwasher at Applebee's. To me, that's dating down. To me.
And a
Okay.
felon. You know they love felons, Noble. So you know you gotta add that.
But Miss Storyteller, if you say that dating down to you has nothing to do with finances for you personally, so like Keith was saying, and you know I've said this before, and someone in here has said this earlier. Every human being isn't the most ambitious person. Everyone doesn't want to go above and beyond. Everyone doesn't want to, you know, try to like reach their peak or reach their limit. Some people are content with being mediocre. Some people are content with being average. So like Keith was saying, if someone was a welder that I don't know, he's in I know you're older than me, respectfully. Let's say he's in his 10th or 12th year of welding and he's making $70,000 a year now. Would you date a man that's in his 10th to 12th year welding making $70,000?
No.
And that's all he wants to be. He enjoys being a welder. He doesn't want to do anything else in his life. He just wants to weld, work with his hands the rest of his life.
Yeah, I could date him.
Okay.
Okay. She
And
sounds like she was just
last
a good
question here,
start.
storyteller. What do you think majority of women are prioritizing today?
Character.
Really?
Yeah.
Even women in their early and mid 20s?
No, I think those girls just want to have fun.
So they're not prioritizing character then.
No, I think those girls are just, it's probably going to be money for the young girls because I know that's what my daughter's about. My daughter's definitely, yeah, she having her fun. Let me just put it like that.
Right. So at you're what age do you think today that, most women actually start valuing those other things? Just your personal opinion.
I would say about 28 to 32.
28 to 32?
Yeah.
So do you think there's a good amount of women in their late 20s that's valuing character and all that other stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Host, could I ask you a quick question, sir? Could I ask you a quick question? I know you told me to mute, but it's getting interested now. Some points that you run across. I sure would like to. Do I have your permission to ask a couple of questions of you?
You're about to speak next. Someone wants to say something before you speak. You're gonna be next. Go ahead, Nye. Go ahead.
And thank you for having me, Mr. Noble. And hey, storyteller, I want to say goodbye in advance. This is what I wanted to add. I do think that there are nurses that enjoy the power dynamic. And as you heard, we had storyteller spoke about the nurses in the mental health facility, and you spoke about traveling nurses. I used to work in a prison, in a correctional facility, and I cannot tell you how many nurses were terminated for sleeping with inmates. I think those nurses enjoy the power dynamic. He's an inmate. And you know what's crazy? They were never charged with institutional G grape, right? Because that's an actual, because inmates are considered like wards of the state. They're considered like children. They do not have is right the right word? They don't have the ability to give consent. So if you're an employee at the correctional facility and you're sleeping with someone who's doing some time there, you are committing SA. So you can be charged with that. Mr. Noble, never saw not one woman charged with it. Not one. But I saw those male COs that did the same thing. They got charged, and I thought that was wild. So, and I'm going to land here. Not only did two nurses, not only did they not get charged, they got caught, they got terminated, they didn't get charged, but they picked them up on his discharge date. Now, that's bold. That is some bold stuff, if you ask me. I think those nurses enjoy the power dynamic, and I appreciate you having me, Mr. Noble. You have a wonderful day. Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
you too. Thank you. Appreciate you. Listen, fellas, let me tell you something about these nurses. Listen, these nurses is getting to it right now. My sister is in Toronto right now. She went to the Beyonce concert tonight. She didn't tell me that she was going to the Beyonce concert. My sister be living a hell of a life. So listen, I say that to say, man, you listen. Make sure you got your cake up for you step to these nurses nowadays, because they really running it up.